Welcome back to the Green Screen, the only UNT sports news show. I'm your favorite host, Evanson Frank Love, and it's been another great week of Mean Green sports. Let's start off with our women's softball team and our women's softball reporter, Matt Mehl. He's here. Matt, wasn't it a good week for our Mean Green sports?
This past week has been a little bit shaky. There's been good, there's been bad. Let's kick it back to 2 weeks ago, though, to talk about the Charlotte series. Unfortunately, we were not able to win. That kind of speaks to our issues on the road that we've been having. We're 8-10 in road games so far. The first game, we were able to win, which looked promising, 13-4, before our bats just went dead and losing the next two games 13-3 and 5-1. Luckily, though, we were able to bounce back last weekend against FAU. A doubleheader, the first two games, and then another game where we lost 13-4. But the doubleheader, we actually were able to win both games. The first one, 5-4 in 10 innings, and 13-4 in the next game. In both games, UNT went down early, but we were able to bounce back on the back of Madison Conley and Elizabeth Moffitt, who both hit home runs in both games. And the moment wasn't too big for freshman Casey Slovak, who hit the walk-off in the first game in the bottom of the 10th. Annika Anderson also pitched all 10 innings in the first game, throwing over 150 pitches, and my arm hurt just watching her. Eva Daniels, another freshman, stepped up and played huge. She had a couple of errors early in the first game, but was able to bounce back, and late in the first game and in the second game, making some really key defensive plays. Unfortunately, though, we did lose 17-7 in the third game on that Friday, but it was really good to see us win and bounce back after the Charlotte series and get some really needed wins. This past Wednesday, unfortunately, we did lose 6-1 at Tarleton State. We only had 4 hits compared to their 9. Our normally sure trio of Madison Conley, Elizabeth Moffitt, and Brady Harmon only combined for 1 hit, which is just not going to win us games. If we want to win games, those 3 really need to play well. Annika Anderson also had a pretty uncharacteristic game. She gave up 3 runs through 5 before being pulled, but it's kind of expected after having her pitch 150 pitches last weekend. Good news, though, Madison Conley was named American Conference Player of the Week, which is her first time this year doing that after many honorable mentions. This weekend, we pick it back up, hopefully to get back on track against ECU, who is currently 5th place in the conference at 8-7. I feel pretty good about this as we're playing at home, where we have a 7-2 record. ECU has been a pretty middle-of-the-pack team the past 2 years in the American Conference as well, so hopefully, the trajectory that we are on and how hot we've been, we'll be able to get a couple of wins in a series win here.
Matt, you are breaking my heart, and that's because when I went to the last 2 games versus FAU, we won those 2 games, and then, seeing as I wasn't there for these past 2 games, we lost those, so, I think that's my fault, but it's okay. I do really appreciate the update, though. Thank you so much, Matt. Let's move on to our women's tennis team, who I hopefully won't break my heart, and that's because they've been great all season long. Our women's tennis reporter, Josh Landers, he's here in the studio. Josh, give me some good news, man.
Thanks, Evanson. And even though the tennis season is unfortunately wrapping up very, very soon, our team continues to take strides and break records every single match that we play. Our tennis team is playing our last season game today against Tarleton State at 1 p.m. in Stephenville before our end of the game AAC conference tournament. But before we break things down for everybody at home, let's take a moment to talk about yesterday as we took down Abilene Christian in Denton 4-2. It was a historic day for this team and our seniors, as last night was senior night for our UNT tennis team. Lou Shillard and Lily Schultz clinched the doubles point, improving their doubles record to 13-4 as a duo this season. This marks the most wins by a Line 1 doubles team since 2017. After ACU initially tied the match once again at singles, Shillard pushed UNT ahead for a 10th singles win of the season thus far. Juliana Cigarotti clinched the match for North Texas, improving to 8-6 overall for the season. I got to talk to Coach Stone and a few seniors from this team, and here's their thoughts on the game.
We have 8 players, 5 of us have been here for 3 years, and we have 3 newcomers, and the freshmen made a difference. They embraced our culture, they embraced our passion, and they're really here for the game. So I feel like everyone this year is at the same page. Everyone wants to win, everyone is together, and if you're gonna beat us, you gotta put effort there because we're really gonna fight for each other.
I think another factor is also when we feel a little bit like the underdogs, or the whole season we've played like we have something to prove. Because on paper we weren't the best teams in a lot of matches, so I think that also is a factor. Because we still feel like at conference we always just want to prove that we're better and better, and I guess it's done.
Everyone stepping up at different times these last couple of weeks. I think we need to really find the rhythm where we just get a really solid performance from every single line. Where I think we lacked that a little bit the last couple of weeks, and we've had like a tremendous showing from some people, and an okay showing, and it's been back and forth on where it's been in the lineup.
So Coach Stone did mention that other competitors stepped up during this match, which was incredibly true for this match considering Marina and Ujin dropped their close singles matches. It's fair to say, however, that this win was much deserved as we already defeated ACU earlier this season. North Texas set a new program record with 12 home wins this season as the Mean Green improved to 15-7 overall for this season. The last time UNT has won more than 15 games in a season was all the way back in 2013. However, we'll need the entire team to show out against Tarleton State. Tarleton State played Louisiana Tech incredibly close this past week, but to be fair, we played L-Tech way closer when we played them. So I think in that case, we'll, instead of just taking the double point like always, we'll also take home that win. My win prediction is 4-1 in favor of North Texas, and that's all I have back this week. Back to Evanson at the desk.
Thank you, Josh. That's the kind of update that I wanted to hear, and that's also how you swing at a ball. But enough about swinging at a ball. Let's talk about throwing a football now. Our men's football team, they are in spring practice right now, and with the absence of Drew Mestemaker since he left UNT and went to Oklahoma State, the question is, who's going to lead the Mean Green offense? We have 3 quarterbacks that are competing for the starting spot, starting with Chaston Ditta, Chris Jimerson, and Taven Jackson. Who's going to take home that top spot, the starting spot? And, to give us some information on who that is, we do have the quarterback's coach who's going to let us know what he thinks or who he believes is going to win the competition. I apologize.
They all have really, really good arm talent. Probably as a whole, one of the better rooms I've coached as a whole, arm talent-wise. They're all very smart. They make good decisions. And they can run too. They all have got really good opportunities with their legs to show us what they can do, and they've all showed really good, and even been surprising at some points of, taking some guys out of the portal. You don't really get to see everything that you're going to get, and especially if there's limited film or whatnot. And been surprised that they all 3 can really run, and they all 3 have got a really, really good arm talent.
Hopefully whoever takes over the spot that Drew Mestemaker left open, will be able to still continue having success at the quarterback position. But let's move on. We do have Jayden Rudd, who's not here in the studio, but he was able to give us such a glamorous interview with one of UNT's transfer players. And let's take a look at how that interview went.
Thank you, Evanson. To kind of piggyback over that, how would you describe the culture of the new coaching staff is trying to build, and how do you think you're fitting into that?
I think they're just trying to build like a set of standard and telling people and letting everybody know you have to compete for everything. And I've never been afraid of work or competition, so I fit in that really good.
Is there any coaches that stand out to you the most right now? And if so, what's a memorable quote or something they've told you so far this spring?
They told me some things I probably can't say on camera, but Coach Maddox, he's my O-line coach, so I talk to him a lot. He's a very calm, very collected guy, but if you're not doing right, he'll get on you. So and I really respect that a lot. He talks about his days when he used to play tight end and JUCO and all of that, and then he switched the offensive line at the University of Houston and stuff. So I got a lot of respect for him.
And that's also good too, because another guy, like you said, you're transitioning over. So for him to transition over from tight end to offensive tackle is something good to learn under. And another thing, outside of football, what's kind of been your favorite moment or your favorite thing about Texas so far?
The food.
The food?
Yeah, I've been at a lot of Chinese buffets, so I like that. $14.95, get all you can eat. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
You can sit there 2-3 hours if you want to.
Exactly.
Go in there with your phone, watch something on the phone.
That's exactly what I'll be doing. I'll probably go later.
And then I'll probably wrap up with this question. coming into University of North Texas, after last year, like we said, top 24, top 25, they finished top 5 offense. We had, an insane run. They did ultimately lose in the conference championship, but do you feel any pressure from last year to match or to succeed past that?
Nah, I don't feel no pressure with that. I wasn't a part of that team, so I don't really know like how that felt. But I know as a team and myself individually, like we're like honored to have that pressure or those type of expectations. Like that's a blessing. We have to come in and work like a top 5 offense because that's what they were last year. So that's just again keep the standard. So.
And then, is there any goals that you would say, personal goals, anything that you kind of want goals for the team as well that you have going into the next season?
My goals for myself is just continue to be consistent, like every day at practice. Like obviously, I'm learning a new position, and I'm competing for a starting job, which I'm confident about. Like, and the only way to do that is just continue to be consistent every day. Can't have no bad days. Can't have a bunch of MAs or lows or anything. Just continue to play hard and. When the coach tell me to fix something, I fix it, Not a lot of complaining, just getting better. For a team, obviously I want to win as many games as possible, but like far for spring ball, I just want everybody to continue to get better, and understand that the depth chart don't matter right now. Just continue to get better at what you do. Yeah.
Thank you, Jayden. Now, football season, they're still in spring practice. Season has not started for them yet, but our track and field season is in full effect. They even had a meet today, and our track and field reporter, Brandon Martinez, he's not at the set alone anymore. He's here at the desk with me. How you feeling, man?
I'm good. I'm excited to cover these news. The Mean Green track and field just had the Texas Relays in Austin last weekend. Now, for some context, this isn't just any meet. The Texas Relays is one of the most competitive events in the country, bringing together top NCAA programs and elite level talent. So every performance here really mattered for the Mean Green. For UNT, this weekend was all about competing at that high level, and we saw some standout efforts overall. On the track, sprinters and relay groups showed solid progression, staying competitive in fast heats and continuing to sharpen their times against some of the nation's best. In the field events, athletes like Ollie Williams continue to be a key presence, bringing versatility and consistency with a 3rd place finish in the discus throw overall. Performances like this are important because they help set the tone for the rest of the team when it comes to competing under pressure at a meet this big. Overall, though, the Mean Green showed growth, discipline, and the ability to compete in a high-caliber environment, having good placements in the men's sprint medley relay, team placing 2nd in that, as well as a 1st place and a program record in the 10K for Jimena Lopez, as well as Akil Hanchard and Mackenzie Huck, with podium javelin throws as well. Derek Warren finishing 3rd in the long jump, which is exactly what you want to see at this stage of the outdoor season so far. And you really can see that progression when you look back just a couple of weeks ago. UNT opened up the outdoor season strong with a 2nd place finish at the TCU Alumni Invite, showing that this team has the potential to turn these performances into podium results. Now, the focus shifts quickly. The Mean Green are right back into action this weekend at the 44 Farms Invite at the University of Texas at A&M. Looking to build off that momentum and translate these high-level reps into even stronger finishes and placements overall. So I'm really expecting big things, and that's pretty much all I got for you today. I'm taking it back to you, Evanson.
Thank you, Brandon. I expect you to get a little bit faster as you continue to, cover track and field, get you sprinting a little bit more. But thank you so much for the update, man. Let's move on to our men's golf team. They don't have a tournament this week, but they do have a tournament starting on Monday. That's going to be the Mossy Oak Collegiate. That's going to be at West Point, Mississippi. I wish them good luck. That's going to be their final tournament before the American Conference Championship. Now, our women's golf team, they actually play today at the Bruzzy Challenge versus Murray State. That's going to be in Ardmore, Oklahoma. We're wishing them good luck. This is also their final tournament before the American Conference Championship. That conference championship will be in Brooksville, Florida. So hopefully they can get a strong start before starting that American Conference Championship. But, what a great way to end the day with great Mean Green Sports. What better way to get updates on Mean Green Sports than here at the green screen. We are at Chilton Studios. I've been your host, Evanson Frank Love. We will see you guys next Friday.